During my undergraduate years, I knew a guy who nearly aced his MCAT, but once ate a raw chicken breast because he mistook it for a poorly made Hot Pocket, completely sober. While picking up my date, now wife, her valedictorian roommate urgently turned away from the TV and exclaimed, "Don't look, they're welding. It'll harm your eyes." She became increasingly insistent as I glanced between the TV and her. She even shouted, "You'll go blind." I asked, "So when your TV shows an image of the sun?" That's as far as I got before embarrassment swept over her face. She began laughing and crying simultaneously, pleading with me not to share the story. When my friend visited me in Colorado Springs, he checked into a hotel but couldn't recall its name or address. When I asked, he simply mentioned he could see the mountains from his window and narrowed his location down to a time zone. My amazing and educated sister once had her house inspected, revealing an issue with their gas heating. A repairman discovered minor carbon monoxide leakage. When asked why they didn't have functional detectors, she replied, "I did, but one kept beeping, so I got rid of it." This happened 10 years ago, and it's still a family joke. Fortunately, they were all fine, though the situation could have turned dire. I graduated alongside someone who earned a perfect SAT score, but lost 2 fingers in shop class while attempting to craft a birdhouse. My brother-in-law is quite intelligent but lacks common sense. While preparing a bath for his child, he couldn't stop the tap and panicked, calling a plumber friend, fearing the house would flood. His friend calmly suggested, "Why not just pull the plug?" A coworker of mine was tasked with mailing letters. When she asked where to go, I said, "Around the corner to the red box." She mistakenly deposited the mail into a nearby red general waste bin instead of the Australia Post mailbox, just 2 meters away. While applying for a job, he misunderstood sick pay as meaning the salary was exceptionally high. He once poured gasoline directly onto a campfire without a second thought. My friend, who holds a master's degree in mechanical engineering and robotics, once prepared potato salad using raw potatoes, reasoning that, since it's a salad, the potatoes didn't need cooking. My aunt, a college professor with a PhD in mathematics, was astounded to see my father cook rice without using a rice cooker. One of my college professors, with 2 doctorates and several master's degrees, was widely respected in his scientific field and even led a national magazine. However, he didn't believe electric eels were real and argued about it with us. She couldn't figure out how to use a shower curtain, which resulted in flooding my entire bathroom. A high school valedictorian friend of my brother's collected deer droppings as a prank to mix into his roommate's Cocoa Puffs. 2 days later, forgetting the prank, he poured himself a bowl and ended up eating a spoonful of deer droppings instead of cereal. While studying in the UK, my brother needed a toaster and found one online for just $3. To his surprise, it turned out to be a children's toy, complete with plastic bread slices. My older brother, also a high school valedictorian, once held an apple in his hand and tried to slice it with a large knife, leaving himself with a permanent scar. Someone managed to swallow an entire Jenga block in one gulp. Despite holding 2 doctorates, they pressed their bare hand onto a stove burner to check if it was still hot. My neighbor, one of the smartest people I know, strapped a quarter stick of dynamite to an RC boat with a detonation switch and timer for a 4th of July stunt. When it failed to detonate, he brought it inside to fix it, forgetting to turn off the switch. Once repaired, the 7-second timer activated, causing the dynamite to explode in the house, shattering all the windows. Thankfully, no one was hurt. In college, I had a friend who graduated summa cum laude with dual majors in biology and chemistry. She later attended medical school and became a doctor at a well-known hospital. One day, she put a fork into the microwave while heating green beans, and I had to explain why the microwave was making sounds like firecrackers. My friend M is exceptional at math and even minored in it just for fun. One day in 2019, while we were walking, she casually mentioned, "Guys, I saw on Facebook that we're only 81 years away from the year 3000. At first, I thought she was joking about Facebook posts. Then she added, "Isn't that wild?" That's when I realized she genuinely believed 2019 plus 81 equaled 3000. I gently corrected her, and to this day I never let her forget it. My dad pierced one ear in college and wore an earring to a party. A girl handed him one of her earrings, but instead of removing his own, he pushed hers through his unpierced ear. This same man is now an engineer. Tried to leap over a stack of boxes with their hands tied behind their back and ended up splitting their lip open. My dad, who is widely regarded as the smartest person any of us know, once tried to amuse us as kids by putting peas in his nostrils. Unfortunately, he accidentally inhaled them into his nasal passages. The irony? He's an ear, nose, and throat surgeon, one of the best in the area. I still remember him pleading with my mom to remove the peas because he couldn't face his colleagues with that story. I know a man with a PhD who believed reindeer weren't real. My husband, a mathematician who works for the government, has repeatedly taken us to the wrong airport in cities with multiple airports, at least 3 times. He's brilliant but completely lacking in common sense. My brother, who has PhDs in bioengineering, was on a call with me saying, "I can't find my phone. My kids must have taken it." He didn't realize until I pointed it out that he was using the phone to talk to me. During a conversation, I mentioned visiting Japan the year before. The other person asked, "Oh, is that where Japanese people are from?" It took me a few seconds to respond with a stunned, "Yes." As I was helping my 94-year-old grandfather set up his walker by the car, my 81-year-old grandmother, leaning on her crutches, sarcastically asked, "Why are you parked in the disabled spot? For the nice view, genius?" Her. "What's the longest 5K you've ever run?" Me. 5 kilometers. Her. "But aren't there longer ones?" Me. "Sure, 8K, 10K, half marathons, etc." Her. "So the longest 5K you ran was a half marathon?" Me. "What on earth are you talking about?" While working as the IT admin for a small company, the power went out. The secretary called my phone and asked, Are the phones working? She didn't say she was testing them. She genuinely asked this over the phone. Manager, can you stay late? Employee, am I getting paid extra? Manager, you're salaried. Employee, I'm paid for 40 hours a week. Manager, do it for the company. Employee, what does the company do for me? Manager, it gives you a job. Employee, I work for money. It's business. The company keeps me because I'm profitable. Never work for free, kids. I'm taller than average for where I live. A coworker once said, "Don't you think it's a bit selfish to be so tall?" To this day, I have no idea what they meant. Person, I can't move to England. I don't even know what language they speak there. Me, English, England, English. Person, are you sure? A client called at 8 a.m., furious, saying, "Your company is terrible. I tried to book something for February 30th, but your calendar app won't let me. How do I make a booking for February 30 if it only shows up to February 29? While living in my spouse's late grandparents' home, I got a call. Caller, can I speak to Mr. Deceased? Me, no, sorry, he's passed away. Caller, then can I speak to Mrs. Deceased? Me, she recently passed too. Caller, when will they be available? Me, hopefully not anytime soon.